Olá, pessoal. Eu sou o Marco Aurélio Mendes, o trainer brasileiro da Terapia Focada nas Emoções, reconhecido pela Sociedade Internacional de Terapia Focada nas Emoções. Nós vamos fazer uma série de pequenos vídeos nos nossos canais, nas nossas mídias, sobre a terapia focada nas emoções, tirando algumas dúvidas de muitas pessoas. Muito se fala na terapia focada nas emoções como se fosse uma abordagem cognitiva ou de terceira onda, o que decisivamente ela não é, já que é uma abordagem experiencial e neo-humanista. Então, nós vamos passar pequenos trechos da conferência que o Dr. Greenberg, que também é um dos nossos diretores e o criador da terapia focada nas emoções, realizou aqui digamos assim, na casa virtual do TFE Brasil, agora nesse ano de 2020. Então, vamos começar com esse primeiro trecho no qual o Dr. Greenberg coloca a terapia focada nas emoções dentro do contexto contemporâneo e comparando com outras abordagens de psicoterapia. Vamos lá?
I don't know how to say good morning. I've forgotten, or good day in Portuguese.
Bom dia, bom dia.
That's right, bom dia. So I'm going to launch into talking from slides. So the beginning part will be more theoretical and placing EFT in the context of other treatments. And then we'll move on to more practical things later in the day. So I need to be able to share screen. And you can see the screen okay?
Okay, Les. Okay,
Good.
Perfectly.
Right. So I'll start off with defining EFT and placing it in the context of current psychotherapy. EFT is a neo-humanistic approach, and it's based on a particular view of humans, particularly of them as goal-directed human beings. They're purposive, dynamic, self-organizing processes, and the fundamental motivation is to survive and flourish by adapting to the environment in which they find themselves. It's developed from its humanistic roots in client-centered, person-centered therapy and Gestalt therapy, and general experiential therapies. Plus, I trained as a systemic therapist and was a process researcher. And a lot of EFT has developed bottom-up by studying the actual process of change. And all this has been integrated into an affective neuroscience and emotion theory framework. In contrast to CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, in EFT, emotion is seen as the basic datum of human experience and as the core element of functioning that we need to deal with in therapy. So we deal directly with emotion, and it's the basic datum of human experience. Emotions are seen as fundamentally adaptive, although they can become maladaptive. Cognition is seen as being influenced much more by emotion than vice versa. So when processing is deep, when processing is complex, when processing is social, emotion influences cognition much more than cognition influences emotion. The way we view cognition is that cognition is brought to emotion to make sense of it. So we'll talk a lot about emotion being used, cognition being used to make sense of emotion. And finally, we work directly with the visceral experience of emotion. And with the most important point is changing emotion with emotion, which I'll go into during the day. EFT differs. It's often been referred to as a third wave CBT, but it's not a third wave CBT. It comes out of a different philosophical, epistemological, and practical approach. So it differs from schema-focused therapy, contextualized therapies, and so on, mindfulness. It's highly process-oriented, and that's probably one of the key aspects, as I'll hope to demonstrate. And we work with facilitation rather than psychoeducation, instruction, or modification. We work with changing emotion with emotion rather than cognitive restructuring, mindfulness, exposure, coping, or problem solving. So these are all, I belong to psychotherapy integration movement, and they're all many different approaches. And the issue is to see how they're similar and how they're different. But EFT offers an additional set of skills. It's not cognitive restructuring, it's not mindfulness, and so on. In EFT, we follow the pain, and rather than trying to modify it, we're actually using it as a guide to get to what the core problem is. And we don't work to replace negative with positive emotions. We don't try to rescript or reparent, which are modificational. So these are some of the differences, just to place it in context.